Today we show you the most extraordinary houses in the world. You can expect spectacular estates, with which the proud owners have fulfilled a dream, and properties that will leave you absolutely speechless. Which house is currently the most expensive house in the world, and how it is living in the narrowest house in the world, you will find out today, here at Wonderlane. Let's start our list with probably the most exclusive vacation home in the world. We're talking about the Palais Bulls, better known as the Bubble Palace. The exclusive mega villa on the French Riviera currently belongs to the fashion designer Pierre Cardin, but it could soon change hands for a ridiculous $400 million. And for that, the new owner will not only get a spectacular view of the Mediterranean, but one of the most extraordinary villas in the world. The Bubble Palace was built in the 70s and 80s by Hungarian architect Antti Lovig, who specialized in the construction of such spherical houses. He wanted the spherical villa to imitate the structure of the human body and thus provide the residents with a higher quality of life. The Bubble Palace, mostly in terracotta, covers over 12,000 square meters of living space and has a huge banquet hall, a panoramic lounge with windows overlooking the sea, and 10-bedroom suites decorated and furnished by contemporary artists. Outside are more than 8,500 square meters of tropical gardens and terraces with private swimming pools. The highlight of the mega villa, however, may be its own outdoor amphitheater, which seats 500 people and offers views of the Cannes and nice bays. Pierre Cardin bought the Bubble Palace at auction in the early 1990s. In the following 2 decades, the designer hosted a series of celebrity parties and fashion events in the crazy villa. Currently, the villa, which incidentally was built on a hilly rocky outcrop, is finally for sale. It can also be rented out for fashion shows, weddings, and private vacations. The costs, about €28,000 a day. Continuing with number 4, thousands of years ago people already lived in caves. Back then it was mainly for practical reasons, and today hardly anyone can imagine actually living in a cave. Unlike Grant Johnson, who fulfilled a real lifelong dream by building his own altitude. And this cave is located in a national park in Utah. What makes it special? Former miner Grant Johnson blasted the height into the rock himself and worked for more than 20 years to complete his special home. During that time, he lived with his wife and children in a trailer next to the construction site, without electricity or running water. Today, the cave is over 500 square meters in size and a true masterpiece. Huge glass windows open the view into the national park and let enough light into the interior of the cave. In general, Johnson remained true to the character of the cave and left the rock largely untreated. He also relied exclusively on natural materials and used primarily wood, metal, and glass for the interior design. Fortunately, electricity and water are now no longer an issue either. All of the home's running water is pumped to his property from a nearby pond, and electricity is generated with a wind turbine. There are high-tech appliances, a satellite dish for high-speed internet, and his own studio where he produces music with artists. He also grows his own vegetables on his 40-acre property and keeps cattle and other animals. But although Johnson lives a true getaway life with his wife, guests are always welcome. There are 2 bedrooms with private baths in the cave, which he rents out to vacationers. These must have an off-road vehicle, because the cave is located 2 hours from the nearest town. By the way, this makes the cave one of the best spots for stargazing at night. Let's continue with the narrowest house in the world. And it's not in mega metropolises like Tokyo or Shanghai, but in Poland's capital Warsaw, right between 2 skyscrapers. The Cara House measures just 1.22 meters at its widest point and 72 centimeters at its narrowest. A car would not fit through here. And if you think that it is definitely not possible to live here, you are wrong. According to Polish standards, the house may not officially be called a home due to its size, but as an art installation it is certainly habitable. The idea is that it should be a home for artists or writers in transit. The Israeli author Edgar Carat, who also gave the house its name, made the start in 2012. But a total of 14.9 square meters of living space forces the occupant to absolute reduction, even if the house itself is even divided into bedroom, kitchen, bathroom, and living room. The mini kitchen offers little space for cooking on a modest 90 centimeters, and the construction is also more than simple. It consists of a steel frame covered with plywood panels, sheathed in composite panels, and polystyrene. The outer concrete shell and the interior of the building are painted white. To create more space in the house, all the stairs in the house can be conveniently folded in and out, and the steps to the entrance can also be retracted and extended by remote control. Jakub Szczesny, the architect, wanted to test the limits of architecture with his project and worked on it for 3 years. The house itself is located in the Wola district, where the Warsaw Ghetto was once located. Architect Szczesny received a lot of international attention for his project, but the architect, who himself also lives in only 21 square meters, has always been modest. He has long been on the lookout again for the next gaps he can fill. From the smallest house in our list, we now come to one of the largest and, above all, most expensive houses in the world. We're talking about the 9,700 square meter mega mansion called the one located in Beverly Hills. And if you want to move in here, you can't be stingy, because developer Niall Niami is asking for no less than $500 million for his modest home. But in return, the new owner not only gets 5 hectares of prime building land with 360-degree views of the Pacific Ocean, the Los Angeles skyline, and the San Gabriel Mountains. It has 42 bathrooms, 21 bedrooms, 7 swimming pools, 6 elevators, 2 wine cellars, a bowling center, a movie theater, and a gym. In addition, there is a huge garage where over 50 vehicles can be parked. The master bedroom is also larger than 3 average single-family homes at 510 square feet. It features a bar, 2 luxurious his and hers bathrooms, and 2 dressing rooms that are more reminiscent of a posh boutique. The pool, which is surrounded by almost 10 centimeters thick safety glass, is also absolutely exceptional. However, the highlight of the luxury villa is in the basement. This is where you'll find a huge nightclub with a 24-meter TV above the bar, a gigantic pool, several fireplaces, and space for almost 900 guests. And if you want to style yourself up a bit beforehand, you can visit the in-house hair and beauty salon. The villa also boasts an enormous art collection, having collaborated with several art galleries. It took 8 years to build the villa, in which, according to his own interviews, owner Niall Niami wanted to realize himself. It was designed by architect Paul McLean, and over 600 companies were involved in the realization of the monument. Whoever buys the one can be sure of owning the largest house in Los Angeles in the future, because only recently an ordinance was passed by the city, which prohibits houses of this size from now on. Before we end this video, we would like to introduce you to 2 houses that didn't make it to our list, but are still extremely unusual because of their look. First, there is the Basket Building in the American city of Newark in the state of Ohio. For a long time, it was the headquarters of the Longaberger Company, which manufactured picnic baskets, among other things. Built in 1997, the building is said to have cost around $30 million and features a dome-shaped glass roof. The 2 gigantic basket handles, by the way, are not just for looks. They can be heated in winter and they protect the glass roof from icing up. Although the building has been empty for years following the company's bankruptcy, it is soon to be reopened as a luxury hotel. You can also spend the night in this toilet house in South Korea. The toilet-shaped residence is located in Suwon, about 40 kilometers south of Seoul. It was built in 2007 by Sim Yi-deok, who had an extreme passion for toilets and was even chairman and founder of the World Toilet Association. Supposedly, he was even born in a toilet. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2009 and thus was only able to enjoy his famous toilet house for 2 years himself. Today it is a museum and can be rented as a vacation home. But now let's move on to number 1 in a house that would probably be a real nightmare for most people. In the middle of Tokyo, there is a house that is completely transparent. Everything the residents do in the house can be observed by passers-by and neighbors on the street. Only the bathroom and the bedroom cannot be seen from the street. But in addition to the unusual facade of the 85-square-meter house, the layout does not exactly meet common standards. The owners had expressed the wish that they would actually like to live in a tree. So the Japanese star architect Sue Fujimoto decided to divide the house into 21 individual floor plates, all arranged at different heights and accessible via narrow staircases. In the house itself there is a modern kitchen, and several bedrooms that allow a view of the sky thanks to the glass roof. The dominant color of the interior is white, and in the construction of the house the architects used only natural materials, such as wood, glass, and metal. Architect Sue Fujimoto wanted to create more space with the transparent construction and break up the confinement that prevails in Tokyo with the glass walls. For himself, however, the glass house would be nothing. Instead, Fujimoto lives with his family in a 50-square-meter rented apartment in a high-rise building in Tokyo. That's it for our video. Feel free to write us in the comments which house you found the most impressive and in which house you would like to live. Otherwise, like this video if you enjoyed it, and see you next time here at Wonderlane.